We are honoring our children, teens, and young adults on their graduation, chazanim, learning programs. Having said all of this, please keep in mind our income is dramatically off, and we need your financial help to keep going. I'm sorry to have to bring this up, but please be generous when you're approached so we can continue to offer you the services and programming we are able to enjoy tonight. Thank you, and all the best to everybody. Kabod.
Rabbi Matalon Bechavod, unmute yourself.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Eli. Baruchim habayim, and welcome, everyone. This is not just our Siyum program, but this is a grand finale of a very special time. I got to tell you, the last 3.5 months for me as well, I'm sure for you, have been nothing short of surreal. It's just nothing that we've ever imagined that would ever transform in our personal lives, in our business lives, in our family, communal lives. We couldn't have made it up. And as remarkable and wondrous and different and challenging as this time has been, I think equally remarkable has been the response. The response of the Jewish world at large, more specifically the response of our community, and even more specifically the response and the reaction of our Bet Torah incredible community. It's just been amazing that despite the fact that we've been physically isolated, which usually would cause people, and most people in the world did dig in and embrace their isolation. Instead, somehow, some way, we managed to do the opposite. We congregated, we unified, we shared our celebrations together, we shared our difficult times together. We somehow were able to learn, study Torah, and pray together every single day, and we socialized. We made isolation into unity. And it brings to mind the pasuk that David HaMelech said, how unbelievable is it? How wonderful, how proper and appropriate. When brothers, when relatives, when fellow Jews sit together, congregate together, spend time together. But this year, there's a word that always bothered me that has finally been solved by COVID-19, and that's the word gam. How wonderful it says in pasuk, Shevet Achim, when brothers and sisters are sitting and together, gam yachad. Gam means also together. Clearly a superfluous word. And we know that in the Talmud, Hachamim treat the word gam as lirabot, to include something that's hidden in the pasuk. And I solved it this year. How wonderful is it for Achim to sit together, gam, even if they're not together, even if they're not physically together. How unbelievable and how much more of a demonstration and exhibition of unity is it when we can pull something like this off. Truly amazing. So one of the ways that we, as the Bet Torah family, unify every year and come together and share is our annual Siyum. As Eli mentioned, it is our 22nd annual Siyum. This year we chose to learn together the Hamesh Megillot, the 5 Megillot. The Siyum is in memory of our dear friend Jack Kasavi, Alav Shalom, a dear friend and congregant for so many years. We love him and we miss him. All the books for the Siyum, I have one here. There were 2 that were used, were donated by Jack's friends in memory of him. So we thank all his friends for that donation. His family all participated in the learning. But I have to be honest with you. I kicked off the Siyum only a Shabbat and a half before this all occurred. And I felt deflated because I had only gotten to recruit a handful of people. I didn't know what to do. But we publicized a little bit. We got the word out there a little bit. And lo and behold, slowly but surely, somehow, people started to creep into the Siyum. And there were requests on email and text and WhatsApp. And we ordered more books. Books were delivered to people's porches with gloves and masks and all. And slowly but surely, nice groundswell of learners developed. And thank God we ended up with about 70 learners, which is about half of what we normally have. But that amount of participants for this circumstance is truly unbelievable. Now, I'll share with you quickly. There were people that learned Megillat Ruth and Esther, Megillot Kohelet, Echa, and Shir HaShirim across the board. People learned independently in classes. My class finished Rut, and half of Kohelet. We're still going every morning, Tfadalu 8 to 15 every morning. And I'll just share with you a thought from the last pasuk in Ruth. Ruth, as you know, married Boaz, and she was not just the heroine of the story, but she was a sort of matriarch that put us in a future direction for the many generations of future Judaism. And the Megillah ends after it says that she gave birth through her union with Boaz to Oved, who Abi Yishai, Abi David. That Ruth, remarkably, was the great-grandmother of David HaMelech, seemingly irrelevant completely to the Megillah. But the lesson is profound to me and very clear, and that is that great people realize that greatness in the Jewish nation is in context. There's got to be continuity. If you're great, that means you want your child to be great and your grandchild to be great. That means you will adhere to tradition and you'll pass on tradition and you'll make sure that that never ends. And therefore, the Megillah ends by saying that Ruth, with all her accomplishments personally, she gave birth to Oved, Abi Yishai, Abi David HaMelech, and in essence, she is the great-great-great-grandmother of Melech HaMashiach, a descendant.
You see the screen?
In the future. And I think that's what our Bet Torah family is all about, tradition, passing on tradition to our children, great-grandchildren, great-grandchildren. And we'll say, Hadran Allah Hamesh Megillot, may we return to you and learn you over and over again, Hamesh Megillot. And may we, the Bet Torah family, continue to learn and pray together, celebrate together, and pass on our wonderful holy tradition for many, many generations to come. And may we see each other very, very soon and make siyums and celebrations in person. B'mehad b'yameinu, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Baruch. And Mabruk to all Mesaymim. We're going to start now a presentation, a video presentation, that you're going to understand what it's all about. But first of all, I want to thank somebody. Eliyahu Tzion, Eli Tzion, give us the premiere for his song Esainai, that is in his new disc, to be part of this presentation. And here you're going to have only a little bit that what happened during his last 3.5 months. Bechavod.
Me
Just wanted to wish a
Bravo, unbelievable. Sorry, let me introduce you. Okay, so we have our guest speaker, Mr. Charlie Harari, please.
Unmute yourself.
Charlie.
It's special because you were able. I wanted to wish a Mazal Tov, a Mabruk, to the Bet Torah community on the Siyum. It's a special thing, not just because you were able to complete this accomplishment. It's special because you were able to do it against the circumstances that we're in. You know, we're up against this incredible Perashah now. In this week's Perashah, there's one of the great questions that people have, which is the Jewish people are about to go into Israel. God puts them on the banks of Israel, and God's like, are you ready to rock? And they're like, yeah, it's going to be amazing. Like, when can we get into our villas? When can we get into our apartments? Like, I'm ready to go. And God's like, what? Oh, yeah, sorry, I don't know if you saw the memo. Like, you have to fight, like, wars. And they're like, what? We're Jews. Like, we can negotiate. We can buy up the stuff. Like, we're not big fighters. Like, what are you talking about? And God's like, yeah, there's kings in here that's going to block you, and you're ready to fight the wars. And the Jews are like, well, let's go take a look. And if you remember the story, they send in spies go in, spies go out and go, we're going to die. And the Jews sit back and cry. That moment, because becomes the beginning of the end, becomes the beginning of Tisha B'Av, and all the negativity in this world stems from that moment. And the question the rabbis ask is, why did God have to make it so hard for him? Like, what did they do? Just clear the way. You're the dad. Like, it's Israel. It's their birthplace. This is promised to them for their forefathers. Like, just take care of it. Like, you took care of Egypt pretty well. You found a way to bring bears and lions and tigers into Egypt. Like, you shut the lights in Egypt. Like, you can make the locusts go to Egypt, but you can't make the locusts make a left turn and go to Canaan, go to Israel. Like, what's up? Just clear the place out. Why did God have to make it so hard for you? So, one way to see this answer is through one of the great documentaries of our time. This has been a very difficult week, a few months for sports fans. First, they canceled March Madness, and then the NBA. I mean, forget about it. I think people are watching like bowling now. So, ESPN and Netflix dropped a 10-part series of Michael Jordan during this period of time. Like, if you couldn't plan better timing than that. And there's a 10-part documentary series on Michael Jordan called The Last Dance. And in there, you're able to see some of the greatness of Michael Jordan. And there's so many tidbits, but one tidbit that I loved was that in practice, Michael Jordan would play with the first team. And as the first team would start to win, he would then go and play with the second team and then catch up and then go to the first team and then catch. He was constantly going to play on the losing team. Why? It's because Michael Jordan understood that greatness isn't found in winning. Greatness is found in overcoming. A true champion, the score on the board is just the manifestation of being a champion. You don't win championships by how many points you score. You win championships by who you are. And when you are right, and you are a certain type of team, you're a certain type of player, then the championships follow. He understood that what he wanted more than anything in the world wasn't to win, was to be great. And you become great by being in a position where you have to overcome challenge. God knows exactly what he's doing. God knows exactly who we are. And God could have taken the story of Egypt, walked us through the desert, and then had like red carpets ready for us as we roll into Israel. They could have been handing shawarmas at the borders, settling in, gorgeous day. We all go to the Kotel that night. It could have been perfect. He put large cities in kings because he knew that for us to conquer, we'd have to overcome major challenges. And if we did, we'd be bigger for it. we'd be stronger for it. We'd be the nation that we were meant to be for it. That's why the Siyum is so important. To be connected to the shul when things are good, it's important. But to be connected to Torah, to be connected to the shul, to be connected to the right stuff when things get hard, that's the measure of greatness. And my bracha to this wonderful congregation, that you should continue to grow. Mechayil el chayu. From level and level and level of Jewish greatness, of spiritual greatness, of greatness in Torah, greatness in the connection to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And we should become a nation that is always conquering our enemies. Whether our enemy is inside us, whether our enemy is on the outside, wherever it is, we should be a nation that stares down challenge and always knows that whatever it's going to take, we're going to fight for the promised land.
Hazaku Baruch. Hazaku Baruch, thank you very much. So now we're going to immediately go to Rabbi Joey Miz. He's going to do the Siyum, and he's going through the Siyum of Mishnayot. Rabbi Joey Miz, unmute yourself, please.
Okay. Thank you, Rabbi Eisenkot. So the four people who completed the Shas with me, Saul Mishon, Eli Harari, our president, and Harry A. Towell, deserve honorable mention, of course, above those who came in and out, which Eli had mentioned. Victor Towell, Jack Kasavi, Lava Shalom, Morris Benin, David Dayan, Joey Hannon, Rabbi Mark Saada. We had a lot of people come in and out of the class, but there were three people that stuck with me over 7 years. Now, I want to just mention a word about learning the Mishnah to all of you. In February of 2000, I was learning in the Knis, and I was doing a page of Gemara. And on the page of Gemara, there were 7 references to different Mishnayot that the Gemara was bringing to prove or disprove a particular point. And I realized when I was reading it that I had never seen any of the 7 Mishnayot, not one of them. And, you know, there was references from all over the place. And I didn't even know what they were talking about. It was at that moment that I decided I am stopping everything that I'm learning, and I have to complete the Mishnah. And I said to myself, I'm not only completing it, I'm completing it 101 times. And for the next 11 years, every day I did 18 chapters of Mishnah every morning. And it was not an easy discipline. I never missed a single day in 11 years, except for Kippur and for Tisha B'Av. And when I completed the Mishnah, what I realized was that I had just started, that I really had just broken the ice, that I started 101. It's every day of your life. You have to keep doing Hazara again and again and again and again and again. You have to complete it 1,000 times, not 101. That was really just an icebreaker. And after 101 times, I started to teach it to other people. And there were a lot of groups over the years, young people that I had taught half the Shas to, 2/3 of it, 3/4 of it. But there were 2 groups. The group of young men were about to finish. We have a couple of months left. And this group of older men, I guess I'm being nice, so Eli frowned, that completed it with me. And it's a tremendous journey. When Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi wrote down the Mishnah, he put it in outline form. It was the first time Torah Sheba'al Peh had been written down. All we had was the 24 books of the Tanakh before the year 200. Before that, we had Megillat Ta'anit, which was just a list of Second Temple period holidays. And that was it. Nothing else was written down. The transmission was from student receiving the Torah from the master and passing it on to the next student, to the next generation. That was the process Moshe Rabbeinu began. Rabbeinu HaKadosh, Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, he's, by the way, the first descendant of Hillel, not called Rabban. He's called Rabbi because he was everyone's Rabbi. Decided to write it down. And he took a great risk. Because we have a halacha that devarim shebe'al peh asur lekotban. You can't write them down. Haram. Yet he violated that. And he said, Eit la'asot l'Hashem. This is a time when the Romans are making things very difficult. The transmission process is being lost. And so he wrote it down. But he wrote the Mishnah down in outline form, very vague, so that you still need someone to teach it to you. He wrote it vague. And then 300 years later, when the rabbis decided to commit to writing the Gemara, it's an explanation of the Mishnah. And then the Geonim wrote explanations on Gemara, and the Rishonim explanations on the Geonim, and the Acharonim on the Rishonim. Every generation needs further clarification until we have Judaism for dummies. We have just books and books and books and books and books clarifying what the Mishnah was. But the Mishnah is the beginning of it all. It's the beginning of all Jewish literacy. Everything stems from the 24 books of the Tanakh and the Mishnah. It is and remains the most important publication in our history. And it's incumbent upon all of us to learn the Mishnah. I want to do the last Mishnah with you in Okasin. And the last message the Mishnah has is a very powerful message. Amar Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi. Atid HaKadosh Baruch Hu lehanchil lechol tzaddik v'tzaddik shelosh meot v'asara olamot. He says in the future, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give to every tzaddik as a nahala, as an inheritance, 310 worlds. Shene'emar lehanchil ohavai yesh ve'osrotehem amaleh. Pasuk Mishleh. What does it say? Lehanchil ohavai, to give inheritance to those who love me. Yesh, God has the yecholet, He has the wherewithal to reward each and every person and to fill our storehouses. And the Gemara, the Mishnah gives a derash on this because you're missing a word of the pasuk. It says Tanhil ohabai yesh. Should have said yesh biyadi, or yesh otila asot et zeh, right? But it just says yesh, and the gematria of yesh is shin is 300, yod is 10. It's 310. Now there's a myriad of derashot. I'm not going into them. It's the next part of the Mishnah I want to focus on. Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Halafta. Lo masah HaKadosh Baruch Hu keli mahazik beracha l'Yisrael ela hashalom. There is no vessel that can hold beracha like shalom. Now what does that mean? It means that you can have all of the blessings in the world, but if you don't have shalom, if you have no vessel in which to hold or to catch those blessings, they mean nothing. They mean nothing. Now, what does this word shalom mean? What does it really mean? Peace. We'll say shalom. The guys sing it all, they'll only shake their heads and they say shalom, shalom, shalom. What does it really mean? I'd like to just relate something quickly to all of you. During the first Gulf War, I was living in Yerushalayim. And the first nights of the war, for me, were harrowing. My wife laughed at it. She's much stronger than I am, but I was really scared. And the first few nights, grabbing my kids, putting them in oxygen tents, and waiting for Saddam Hussein to bomb us with nerve gas, right? It was a terribly frightening thing. And I remember sitting that Friday night and reading Shalom Aleichem. And I read the first two words, Shalom Aleichem, and I cried. I said, please God, give us peace. Give us shalom. Let these Rishaim stop firing missiles. God knows if one is coming from Iraq now with my name written on the tip. It was a terribly, terribly potent moment that I remember really having kavanah when saying a prayer. And that's just reading it. The shalom is a keli that holds all the beracha. And it's shalom in your home, shalom in your business, shalom with your children, with your spouse, with your parents, with your brothers and sisters, with all your relationships. If you have shalom, you can at least have the receptacle to accept the beracha. And this is what Rabbi Shimon ben Halfiyata is telling us. And he quotes the pasuk, Adonai ozda amo yiten, Hashem will give us strength. Adonai yibarech et amo b'shalom. Give us the strength, but give us the shalom as that keli that will hold the shalom. Hadran alach seder taharot vehadrach alan. Da'atan alach seder taharot, da'atach alan. Lat Hashem minach seder taharot, lat Hashem minan. لا بعلم دين لا بعلم داته. هعرفنا أضنا إلهنا. إتبرية توراتها بفينا وفي طعم إسرائيل. يعني كلنا نحن سيسعينه. سيسعي أم نخبة إسرائيل كلنا يعد إيش نخا. لهم ده توراتها الإشماء. من أي بيت حكمين بصفتها كي العالم هلي. يهيل بيت تمين بحكيها لما حنو يبوش. لعالم لو إشكح بكودها كي بام حي تاني. أروح تا أضناي لما يداني حكيها. أمين أمين أمين. سلام عيد. مودية من أحمد فعليها أضناي إلهنا بالهي أبوتينو. שסתמת חלקנו ביושבי בית מדרש, ולא ביושבי קרנות, שאנו משכימים והם משכימים. אנו משכימים לדברי תורה, והם משכימים לדברי בעלים בטיילים. אנו עמלים והם עמלים. אנו עמלים מקבלים שכר, והם עמלים ואלה מקבלים שכר. אנו רסים והם רסים. אנו רסים בחיל הבא, והם רסים בבאר שחת. שנאמר, ואתה אלוהים תורידנו בבאר שחת, אנשי דמים ומרמה לא יחסו עמהם, ואני אבטח בך. נמצא לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, כשם שעזרתנו לסיים סדר טהרות, כך תעזרנו להתחיל סדרים וספרים אחרים לסיימם, ללמוד וללמד, לשמור ולעשות ולקיים כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה, וזכות כל התנאים ותלמידי חכמים הנזכרים בסדר טהרות, תעמוד לנו וזרענו, שלא תמוש ספר התורה מפינו ומפי זרענו ומפי זרע זרענו עד עולם. ויקוים בנו, והתהלכך תנחה אותך, ושוכבך תשמור עליך, והכיסות, והיא תשיחך, כי בי ירבו ימיך, ויוסיפו לך שנות חיים, אורך ימים בימינה, ושמאלה עושר וכבוד, אז נעוז לנו ייתן, ונברך תעמו בשלום. Now, the group has decided to try and conquer something else that I think Rabbi Azencourt is also working on, but in a different time slot. And that is the Rambam. And we will start the first halacha. Yisod ha-yisodot ve'amud ha-chochmot le'da sheyesh shem matzui rishon. Yod he-wav he mamsi kol nimsa v'chol nimsaim mishamayim va'aretz u'ma shebenehem v'lo nimsa'u ela me'amitat himaseo. Now, Rabotai, I have to thank, of course, the Knis for always being supportive, finally getting us coffee at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's not easy having to stop first. Now we have it in the shul. Finally, it's come. Thank you, Judah. Thank you, Eli Harari. And thank you, Harry Towell, for pushing it so hard and bothering everyone. But we finally got coffee at 6 a.m. And yes, Ralph, I enjoy sitting with you in the morning at 10 to 6 and talking politics until we can't talk anymore because too many people are there and it becomes uncomfortable. Also, by the way, I forgot Ali Cohen was instrumental, and of course Robert Azar bringing the coffee machine to begin with from his office. We all know the saga of the coffee machine, but it is solved. And then we got COVID. That's the one thing I said I'm not going to mention in my talk, because everyone is so sick of hearing about it. We just can't wait to get back to Knis and over the virus. If I get one more meme, my head's going to explode. So we're not really interested in looking at it anymore.
Exactly.
And getting back to the Knis, praying b'sibur, b'roba'an hadarat melech, and being with our hachamim, our hazanim, once again, Azrat Hashem, together in our holy congregation in Beit Torah. Amen.
Ubaruch, touching, Hacham Yosef. Thank you very much.
Rabbi Geffen.
Shalom, amen.
Amen.
We're gonna Yeheskel b'chabod.
So, what I hear now is small clicks of thinking. Maybe the
Okay, happened that Hakam Yeheskel was meant to introduce the song and to explain why he picked it, although the quality is not so great, all in honor of our dear Ishaq Kabaso. And together they do a beautiful team. This is the separate of our synagogue. This is the voices of our Bet Torah. And thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Robert Azar, unmute yourself.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, and good evening, everyone. So it's an honor and a privilege for me to be part of the team that publishes the weekly bulletin. My family and I have been part of Bet Torah since the early 60s. And as far back as I can remember, we always had a bulletin. And everybody passed it around and so on. So I first want to give a special thank you to Sheldon Goldman. He has been on the executive committee for many, many years in the early days. And he was the editor and publisher, I guess, of the bulletin. And he set the bar, which we strive to meet each and every week. From the early days of the bulletin until this present time, it serves as a link to disseminate the Torah to the Kahal, and equally important to give us some insight into synagogue happenings and jokes and all the different semachot. So there were a number of semachot that took place while the synagogue was closed. So I'd like to read those out quickly and briefly so we can all share them once again. So here we go. Engagements was Victor Dweck to Mary Salem, Michael Dweck, that's Yaakov Dweck's son, to Natalie Segev, and Barbara Madelon to Harry Cohen. So which Madelon? This is Dr. Danny Madelon's son, Barbara Madelon to Harry Cohen, the son of Ike and Eileen Cohen. Weddings, Sheila Elbaz to Michael Kish, Susan Kasavi to Isaac Dayan, Sophia Safdie to Ronnie Weingort, and Eli Katan, my cousin, Eli Katan to Bobby Bijou. And then lastly, we have births. Lillian Towell from our administrative office, she had a baby boy. Edward and Claudine Adis, who've since made Aliyah to Eretz Yisrael, they had a baby boy in Israel. Hani and Moshe Yifat, they had a baby girl. The grandparents are Yuda and Noah Stern. And lastly, okay, we also have Naftali and Nina Lubin, had a baby boy. Jordan and Gina Samstein's grandchild. And Chava and Jake Sutton had a baby boy. So I'd like to ask the Kahal over this Zoom, if anybody has a simcha, please do reach out to myself, Sally, Allison, or Lillian in the Bet Torah office, so we can include the good news in the bulletin, and your extended Bet Torah family can share in your happiness. I'd also like to extend our thanks to those who have generously sponsored the bulletin over the years, both in print and now virtually. I mean, it's just on email. And yes, thank you to all those people who have contributed and sponsored. And there's a big team that runs through the bulletin, that works on it. Rabbi Azenkot, Rabbi Nathan Dweck, Morris Arking, David Patesh, Jack C. Dweck, Jeffrey Dweck, Sally Haber, Allison Hamway, Lillian Towell, and Paula Bar-Sinas, who handles graphic design and layout. So during the summer months, some of us are still in Brooklyn, in Bet Torah. Others may be in New Jersey, praying in different synagogues in Minyanim. Be'ezat Hashem, we plan to continue publishing the bulletin each week, and in this way, maintain the close and warm camaraderie that is the hallmark of Bet Torah. Thank you once again for listening, and Hazaka Baruch to all.
Hazaka Baruch, Robert. Jeffrey Dweck, please unmute yourself.
Good evening, friends. It's really so nice to see everybody. Mabruk to the Misayamim, and a big Hazaka Baruch for a beautiful program tonight. It's no secret that at Bet Torah we hold education as a core value, Judaic and secular. In fact, we hesitate to separate the two, believing, as we do at Bet Torah, that the umbrella of Torah is wide and broad, and that by engaging with knowledge, generally, we engage with Torah. Rabbi Lieberman, Zecher Tzadik Libracha, was a very strong advocate of education, and especially higher education, professing always that a college education was not an option, but the obligation of every responsible Jew who is able. Education allows us not only to engage the world around us in deeply meaningful ways, but to appreciate it. And it also gives us the assets and the tools, dare I say, the weapons we need to work for and improve ourselves, our synagogue, our community, the Jewish people, our country, and the world. On that note, it gives me really great pleasure to congratulate, on behalf of our president, Mr. Eli Harari, our executive committee, our rabbis, our staff, and our entire congregation, our synagogue's 2020 graduates from grade school, high school, college, and advanced study, including members who've earned master's and professional degrees this year, like Michelle Levy, who earned a master's degree from Columbia University last month. I know we may have omitted some names on this flyer. There are so many, and I apologize. I see we're missing Karen Madelon. She was salutatorian of Shadei Torah Girls High School, and Sammy Madelon, salutatorian of Shadei Torah Boys High School. And if your graduates are not watching tonight, please let them know that we see them, that we're in their corner, that we're so, so proud of them, and that we will soon be relying on them. Have a good evening.
Hazak Baruch. And really, we are a little bit off of time. Jack have prepared, but first of all, in the chat, we have the link. Classes are going on now. Just after this, the class is starting. Rabbi Tobias has his parasha class, Rabbi Matalon, and Rabbi Kahen. So now Jack presented a hug from you rabbis to you. So if you have the patience to stay, please stay for that. If not, go straight to the class.
Hi, everything are healed, are mourning, are consumed.
No. Jack? Again.
Hi, everyone. These past 3 months have been so challenging for us, so different, and yet so inspiring. As a Bet Torah family, we've celebrated and cried together, we've learned and prayed together, and most of all, we've stuck together. It's been my absolute privilege and honor to have been able to participate over these last several months in our class schedules and in our programming, and I pray B'ezrat Hashem.
Yes, we do pray with you.
Let's try. You hear it, but you don't see it. Let's try this again.
Okay. But we pray with you, Rabbi Matala.
We will continue from where we left off. For some reason, it doesn't want to.
So this is what I love in technology. But when we're in a family, yeah, we laugh, we smile, we say, okay, this is...
I wanted to take the opportunity to say how proud I am to be a part of the Bet Torah family. These last couple of months have been incredibly difficult, but we all really rose to the occasion. I can't remember another time where there was so much Torah happening, so many classes, tefillah online, tehillim readings, so much happening coming out of the Bet Torah congregation. It really was tremendous to see. I'm proud to be part of the family, and I want to give a tremendous shout out to the rabbinical staff, and particularly Rabbi Eisenkot, who did a fantastic job of really keeping us all together. It was unbelievable to hear him every week, to see how much work he did, and also to the committee for doing everything that they did to keep us together. I look forward to seeing everybody, B'ezrat Hashem, in person back in September. Have a wonderful summer, Tizkulu Mitzvot, and stay safe.
B'ezrat Hashem back in Bet Torah in September, as well as over the course of the summer. Please don't be a stranger. I hope to see everybody again soon, and wishing everybody hatzlacha, a happy and healthy summer.
To the entire Bet Torah family, thank you so much for the past few months. You turned to us for our Divrei Torah and guidance and support. I just want to thank all of you and want to wish everyone only semachot and only good things.
Reflecting back at the last 3 months, the devotion and diligence of the Sivur at large was very moving and a big Kiddush Hashem. We demonstrated our commitment to Torah and Tefillah regardless of the circumstances.
Yesterday is gone, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. And that's why it's called the present. And truly, we are gifted. We are gifted to be alive and be part of one of the greatest kehilot, and we should only grow together in spirituality, and B'ezrat Hashem, we should only see Besot Tovot in Bet Torah, a great congregation.
And a heartfelt thank you from me, and I'm sure the entire community. So Hashem should always give you the strength to do the mitzvot. Thank you so much.
Hi everybody, I hope we're all safe and healthy and everything is good. Bravo to everyone. Hazak Baruch. We should all feel proud of ourselves and keep up the beautiful work.
It's a pleasure and truly an honor to be part of this great big family that we've become. Having experienced this Zoom phenomena together with you, with hundreds of us learning Torah every day, I have a new appreciation for the concept of a siyum. I believe a siyum is not just a conclusion, but really a completion, where educators and students complete each other, we make each other whole, and we refine each other.
The last 3 months were challenging for everybody, but we had to stick together. And we did even two concerts. Stay safe, and we're going to be back in Bet Torah, in our building. Have a safe summer.
I am thankful for the privilege to be able to work with an extraordinary, unique, vibrant team to be able to keep alive a virtual Bet Torah. Literally hundreds of hours of recording that represent all the activities that we were able to share with you. You allow us to go inside of your homes. Bet Torah came to you, and it's a privilege for us. And to tell you that we're closing a season, Bet Torah is reopening little by little. A new season is starting, a new episode. We're still here, and we're still gonna go looking for you, and we hope you're opening your windows, your computers to let Bet Torah in and to keep us together. See you, and have a healthy and safe summer.
Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for joining us. I thank you everybody for joining and for being part of this amazing Kehidah. And Hashem, we have a lot to do, a lot to continue doing together on Semachot, and may Hashem give us the strength not to see any more harm, and only to see Semachot coming up and to be able to share it, really. For now, it's a virtual hug. Yeah, soon should be a true hug, yeah, to each other. Good to see the faces. And I just posted, yeah, Judah, very good, well done. I just posted the classes, so you are invited to join them. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Everybody go learn.
Don't close.
I have to close because this is Rabbi Tobias is on the same channel.
Amen. Don't close, Jackie. Don't close.
Okay.
You can socialize.
Okay, everybody. I gotta go.